hide. So anyway, part 3. This guy, he contacts the woman, I believe, that was in charge of the books, and he says, what is the Cancer Fund, Research Center, etc., that the 10% has been going to? She goes, let me get back to you on that. She gets back to him and she says, and this is the last time we hear anything about this from the Fenn estate. She gets back to him and says, one of the grandkids is in charge of that. I think either one of the kids or the grandkids. So it would either be one of the daughters or one of their kids. And he writes back and he says, well, okay, but what is, thanks for the information, but what is the exact, just give me the name of the damn fund. Even if you contact one of whoever it was and say, hey, whoever, what is the fund that our money's been going to? Because I'm just interested and I want to give him an extra $50. No response. So I'm discussing this with another guy. And he says, you know what? I'm going to email them and see what they say. No response. Emails them back. What cancer research center did the 10% go to? No response. I mean, no response. Like no email back. That's what they told me. That to me is a little suspicious. And I'll just say it because I'm not living in this world that some of you live in where, oh my God, don't criticize the Fenns and they're the greatest this and the greatest that. You guys are just, forget about it. Forget about it. They're just like anyone else and they're perfectly capable of not telling the truth or doing things that aren't ethical. Illegal, not even talking that. I mean, you'd have to argue that in a court of law, and you'd have to prove it and all these other things, and nobody's going to go through that effort. And that, frankly, folks, brings me to the end here, which I'm going to kind of stretch out because I just started part 3. But I think it's a very valid thing to bring up. And I'm sure you all feel just the way I do about it. I'm sure you feel just the way I do about it. Are we all really going to go to our graves at some point, never knowing where that treasure was? Okay. Never knowing how the poem worked? Are you satisfied with that? Think of this. 10 years that hunt went on. 350,000 searchers, 50,000 searchers, someone said to me the other day, whatever you think it is, a lot of people went out there. 5, 6, 7 people died specifically because they were looking for the treasure. The reason I'm a little vague on the number is because in some cases people thought that someone had gone out looking specifically for the treasure. They were big Fenn fans. In other cases, people specifically said to people, I'm going to look for the treasure. And they died doing it. But we had a couple of others, I think, that were out there, and people speculated they were looking for the treasure, but they couldn't say for sure. So we have this, I think, maybe up to 7 people, maybe more. Right? We had people die. We had all these people spend a lot of money. People went bankrupt looking for the treasure. That's their fault. That means they were very reckless and foolish with the way they went about it. But I'm saying this treasure hunt had a huge impact on a lot of people. And you're telling me that it ends this way. Forrest Fenn, out of the blue, announces in June of last year that the treasure chase is over and that someone found it. And he's not going to say who. Someone found it. And he congratulates the searchers. He doesn't congratulate the guy who found it. And then we find out the guy who found it is a guy named Jack Stuef. I may be getting my chronology wrong here, because Barb Anderson was suing Jack, he felt that he should give up on who he was. Bottom line is this is what I'm trying to say. I'm muddling it up. I'm muddying the waters. Forrest Fenn says the treasure has been found. Doesn't seem to have any great affinity for whoever found it. Kind of says, I don't even really know the guy. He didn't congratulate the guy. Forrest Fenn dies. I mean, it's like 2 months later he's dead. So we're like, what? Meanwhile, Jack, because he's being sued by Barb Anderson, feels like, well, I have to come out and announce that I'm Jack Stuef and I found the treasure. And by the way, all these things Forrest Fenn never said are true. He doesn't want the location ever known, so I can't tell you the location, hence I can't tell you the poem. And by the way, we were really, really great friends. I mean, he loved me and I loved him. Forrest Fenn never said any of that before he died. Family came out later and said things like, yes, you know, Jack is the true finder and he found it and congratulations. But that was after Fenn was dead. And let's remember, once Jack came into possession of that treasure, I mean, imagine if the Fenn family found out that Fenn had indeed privately told Jack the location, made him look for the treasure itself, but told him the location. That puts them in a hell of a spot. What are they going to say? They're going to be able to say, yeah, Jack Stuef found that treasure, that's for sure, but they don't want to explain what happened, right? And if it was hacked, that's even worse. It's like Dad was a dumbass. He was looking for, photos of women's boobs. I only say that because of Wonderhussy. Have any of you heard of Wonderhussy? Wonderhussy is a woman who does these videos where she goes around I haven't watched her in a long time. She's a very interesting woman, I should say. She's definitely a woman. She goes around to like abandoned places and she kind of investigates them. And she did go investigate the whole Forrest Fenn thing and she met Forrest Fenn. And it was funny because all this stuff about Forrest Fenn and the women. Forrest Fenn and the women. And what was Forrest Fenn doing with the women? Were women sleeping with him to get a clue from him? All this kind of stuff. You're like, ooh, the imagery is. I don't want to think about Forrest having sex with young women. It's just, hey, how you doing, honey? Hey. Oh God, no, I don't want to think about it. Well, Wonderhussy, Fenn gave her some stuff, and she was off on doing her thing in one of her videos, and she talks about how someone said, was Forrest Fenn a real dirty man type of guy? And she goes, well, one time we were at a hot springs, her and her girlfriends, and he was kind of joking about them showing, flashing their boobs. I mean, it's kind of juvenile. I mean, really. Yeah. Oh, but so that was kind of funny. And she said, dirty old man. She kind of said, yeah, maybe, but as dirty old men went, I've met a lot of them, and he was. She said, let's put it this way: never had to worry about Forrest Fenn. I think Forrest Fenn was just one of those guys. Why am I even talking about this? Because it just goes to the heart of what Forrest Fenn was like. I guess that's why I was talking about that. And Forrest Fenn was not an angel, and he had the same foibles we all have. And I just think if the Forrest Fenn family, to get back on track, was aware of any of this stuff, they kind of just wanted to go away. They don't want all the kind of the sausage making part of the hunt revealed. And if Fenn did in fact give the location away, that really is legally a potential nightmare, even if Fenn was smart enough not to, just to give a location. Still, I think it would be somewhat of a valid class action suit. But as my financial advisor said when he was previously my legal advisor, but now he's become more of a financial advisor, said it would be a big, big long shot. And people like Barb Anderson saw no value in a class action suit. So what was my main point I was saying? I was saying, are you all comfortable with the fact? All I know of most of you are going to say, of course we're not comfortable with it, but there's nothing we can do about it. And that's kind of where I wish we would all push on to the next step. How can we find that solve from Jack? Not from all of you people that have your damn solves. I mean, I still see people. There's still people sending me solves. A lot have stopped communicating with me in the last 3 months because a number of them have asked me what is wrong, where am I, what am I doing, and I try to I just say my sister's still here and I'm not doing videos. But finally, one of them just said, Eric, stop doing his videos. No, I haven't. I'm going to do a lot more. I think she'll be gone. I think she'll be gone in 2 weeks. Dear sister, if you ever see this, it's nothing personal. It's just like I really want to have my privacy so I can just live my life like I was and come and go in my own condo and do my videos when I want out in the open like I do like to do. And I think she probably will be out of here in a couple of weeks. Gosh, think of that. It'll probably be over. We started this in February. She'll probably be possibly more than well, about 2 weeks. I think she'll be on. The contractor didn't work at all last week, because he had death in the family. You just can't make it up. I mean, I'm just sitting here going, what? Well, he won't be able to work this week because he had a death in the family, so he's got to be out of town now. Oh my God, it's just. All right. What the hell's wrong with me? That's all I got for you folks. The next step we should all be thinking very, very carefully about is how to get that poem solved. Poem solved by Jack. How to get that location from the pinpoint, the treasure chest location from Jack or from someone. And I have no answer. I have no idea of how we will do that. If there's any shenanigans that went on with the way this was found, Jack will never, ever, ever tell us anything. And it sounds like he's just not going to tell us anything. Oh, and by the way, one more thing. I don't know to what extent it was true, but recently, again, with Calasar, I think it was K-Pro and Mike's Grand Adventure or something. They invited me on the page. I was on the page, and then this thing came up. I didn't watch it that long, but there's so much kooky stuff. There's no knocking them, but they just have these people on there that just have emotional problems, clearly, and they're all the I keep getting posts from, oh, I'm sorry, everyone hates me, but I'm going to defend my friends, and these rants that go on every day, and you go, this person really needs to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist. All they do is post about everyone giving them a hard time and how they're going to keep being themselves, and you're like, well, who cares? Or people with their damn solves. And so, I was watching that for a few days, but anyway, one message I got before I went back, left the group, was that apparently Shiloh had texted or somehow intervened in with them on their video or something, and he went on there and Shiloh debunked all of the conspiracy theories, which I'm sure he would consider what I'm saying to be conspiracy theories. Oh yeah, that Fenn told someone, or someone hacked Fenn. Yeah, that's really well, that's just fantasy land. That could never happen in a million years. Jesus, you ever watch the news? It's happening left and right. Thank God they're decentralizing the net. We have got to decentralize the net and get away from the tech giants and have some autonomy as people in this world and create a real world communication system where we're all dealing and be able to be more transparent with what our governments are doing around the world. And put these people in their place. Sorry, I rant. Because if they have their way, they'll be watching everything we do on the internet. Guarantee you. So, supposedly Shiloh got on there and I'm here to debunk, and then on some reading, I'm going, that's pretty cool, that's kind of a coup for them, and then suddenly I'm reading, someone goes, oh no, that was Ryan that was on there, and he was hoaxing you guys, and then it's like, no, I'm pretty sure it was Shiloh, and I just said, I can't take any more of this clickbait bullshit. It's like that stupid GPS Saul bullshit. That was pure bullshit. That was pure, sorry, something very close to Iwi Production Studios. Very loud. Iwii, I-I-W-I-I, production studio. So was it really Shiloh? I'm not even keeping up. By now, maybe it's been confirmed it was Shiloh or it wasn't Shiloh, and it's another one of these hoaxes where everyone gets all excited, and then 2 weeks later, it's not true, and they got their 2,000 views. Jesus, what a way to make a living! Thank God I don't do this for money, because I'd be broke. That's about all I got for you, folks. So I'm back in the video biz. I'm back making videos. I'm Joe Biden. I'm back making videos. Listen to me very carefully. You gotta do what's right for your country. You gotta do what's right. Ooh, Tober's looking at me like I'm out. He's like, hey, buddy. I think I'm gonna talk to the cats and pin that in the video somewhere. People like my cats, Stover and Bell. Everyone have a great time. Hope you've enjoyed this video. We've got to figure out the solve, folks. We've got to figure out where the treasure... We cannot go to our graves not knowing where that treasure was found and not knowing how the poem works. We can't let that happen. Every day when you get up, think, I need to figure out a way to force Jack or the Fenn estate to tell us where that treasure was, if the Fenn estate knows, and how that poem worked. We just can't spend 10 years of our lives or 5 years of our lives, or in my case, 4 years of my life, looking for something and never even being told where it was and how the poem works so I could be able to at least compare my solves. That just isn't right. That's not right. That just isn't right. Everyone have a good time. It's been wonderful to talk to you all. I really enjoyed it. I need to get my teeth whitened. Wow, pretty bad. To think that all those cigarettes I smoked decades ago are probably still in there somewhere. It's pretty nasty. Everybody have a good time. I'm leaving now. Goodbye.